On. Welcome to Crypto Kid Podcast. I'm so glad to have Iris. Is that how you pronounce your name?
Yes, you got it.
Iris. And she is a co-founder and CEO of Umba, right? Is that right?
Um,
Umba?
yeah, Umba Daima.
Umba Daima. And so tell me a little bit how you got in the Web3 space.
Yeah, so it kind of goes a little bit further back. My company was originally born out of some trips that I took overseas. I went to some countries in the Caribbean and in Africa, and I was really surprised at how low the artwork was selling for at these like local marketplaces or like street artists who I would go and buy artwork from. And so initially when we launched Umba Daima, it was just an online store helping artists in these locations sell their art and like tap into the Western market. Shortly after we launched that store, I reconnected with some college classmates who were into NFTs. One of them worked at Visa in the crypto department, and so they just started kind of teaching me about NFTs, and were like, you should probably consider like having the artists that you're working with learn about NFTs and figure out how to use NFTs. So we spent a couple months like investigating. At that time, it was November 2020. So Beeple had, I think, literally just done his first drop, and it was like he made like 2 million in like 48 hours. It was like a big deal. And I remember going through the articles about his drop and being like, okay, I think I get it. And then we decided to spend a couple months like studying and learning. And then we launched, we started like teaching the artists that we were working with on how to sell their art as NFTs.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So did you explain over a little bit of the problems that you're trying to solve with your company, or is there more to it?
Yeah, so our company has really evolved over time. Our first project that we launched was, after the marketplace, we launched a community called Black NFT Art. And our goal with that was to help Black creators in the NFT space or who want to sell NFTs essentially find community because there weren't really many Black people in the space at that time. Most Black people who wanted to get into NFTs didn't know anyone else that was in NFTs. Like they didn't have access to that network to support them. So we just literally were just posting their art, sharing their art. It kind of took off and we started growing really quickly. But we realized that there was essentially like a glass ceiling because Black and NFT and art is very, very, very niche. Like a very small number of people in the world that care about this specific topic. So we were essentially limiting ourselves and our growth capacity by focusing on such a niche audience. So we have decided to expand into a venture studio. A venture studio is just a company that incubates multiple different like business ventures. And so now we have additional projects that we're launching all around the mission of increasing technology adoption around the world. And I can share more about those projects as well. But yeah, that's what we do.
That alludes to my next question. So you do a lot of events and a lot of community gathering. So
Mhm.
what are the projects that you're working on that you could share? Is there anything like that's about to drop that it could be exclusive information? You only heard it here on Crypto Kid Podcast, or you're gonna keep it secret and down low for now?
Yeah, no, I definitely have stuff I can share. So we're launching a second community. It's called Tech Misfits, and it's a social networking and education app for STEM and art professionals. STEM stands for science, technology, engineering, and math. So STEM and art professionals who are passionate about technology and technological advancement. We want to provide a platform where they can collaborate, where they can organize, and where they can get tech and business education. So the app is launching in the summer, and the first 20,000 memberships are going to be released as NFTs. And so these are going to be unique avatars, super diverse, representative of many different types of people and cultures. And those avatars will serve as lifetime membership subscriptions to the app. And then from there, once those sell out, we'll potentially switch to having additional memberships follow like a traditional subscription model. We're not exactly sure yet. It really just depends on how the first collection goes. But yeah, we're really excited about this new community because STEM is a field that is like STEM is a sector that is growing. I think especially in the United States, where STEM education has actually been neglected for the last probably 30 or 40 years. And a lot of people are realizing that it's leading us to be behind in a lot of ways and from other countries. So there's a lot of investment going into developing professionals, technical skills, engineering skills, science skills, etc. And so we're really excited to build a community that's going to be really on the forefront of growth in many countries around the world. So that's our second community. And then we also have an app called Assemble Now that we're releasing. And Assemble Now is a event logistics and staffing app. So this app is designed for community-driven brands, for them to be able to manage all of their event logistics in one place and all of their staffing needs. So if you're hosting Twitter Spaces and you need hosts, you need guest speakers, you need workshop facilitators, maybe you're hosting live events and you need DJs and event marketers, etc. You can build that team all within the app and host all of your event programming so that you can grow like a really thriving, engaged community.
Wow, you're at work. You're a busy lady having two apps. Make sure you download the app, and those things will be in the description down below for whoever's listening and watching. And I salute you a lot because right now, cryptocurrency and NFTs, it's a male dominant industry. And so I'm really admire what you're doing and you pushing it for the boss ladies. And so with the NFT collection, how do you explain that to somebody and tell them like this is authentic and it would be worth a lot of money later on down the road?
Yeah. I think what a lot of people struggle with is understanding that NFTs as a technology are really just a certificate of ownership. Think of a deed to a house, right? The deed and the house are two separate things, but the deed is what indicates ownership of the actual house, right? So whoever owns the deed owns the house. So NFTs are very similar. They dictate ownership of an asset. It could be a physical asset, it could be a digital asset, but it's able to indicate that ownership, and it uses blockchain technology, which allows for a level of transparency and organized like data tracking that is really difficult in the physical world, right? So that's really what NFTs are. And art, using NFTs to indicate ownership of art is really just one use case. There's so much more that you can use NFTs for.
Excellent day. So what brings NFTs and cryptocurrency together, and how come you can't buy it with USD or any other currency, fiat?
Well, that's actually changing. So, what was the first question?
What brings them together? What brings NFTs and cryptocurrency together? Like I know when NFTs first started, you only could use Bitcoin to buy. To my knowledge, you might have been able to use Ethereum or any other, but since
Yeah.
Bitcoin is king now, we'll just go with you can only use that currency to buy it. But how is
Mhm.
it changing?
Yeah, so NFTs are a type of cryptocurrency, basically. The underlying technology is cryptocurrency technology. The main difference is that NFTs are non-fungible, so every NFT is unique. Whereas currency like Bitcoin or ETH, for example, every token is the same, right? Every Bitcoin has the same value, etc. So that's really the main difference. Otherwise, it's really the same technology. And so I think that what's interesting is that NFTs were able to create like a really powerful use case for fungible cryptocurrencies like ETH and Bitcoin, et cetera, because now you had something that you could buy in the digital world using your cryptocurrency. And so I think that's where they're really connected, is that NFTs have really kind of created that use case that has incentivized people to start collecting or start acquiring more cryptocurrency than they were before. But the market is evolving. And so there are a lot of platforms that are now allowing you to buy NFTs using US dollars and regular currency as well.
What platforms?
So I believe OpenSea has, for example, has added fiat on ramp. So now
Okay.
you purchases with a credit or debit card. And I believe other platforms are doing the same.
Is that where you sell your NFTs collection? You use OpenSea?
So we have one collection in the past that we launched there. Our Tech Misfits collection is going to be sold on our own marketplace.
Okay, cool deal. Cool deal. So get some more NFTs on their platform. So how do you validate the authenticity of an NFT? Like, so we had like Broad Apes, I believe, was really popular and went mainstream on every social media and news network. So
Mhm.
what brings up the value so much, and how do you keep the value up there?
Yeah, so it's interesting, to answer the first question, how do you validate an NFT? You really have to look at who created the NFT. You have to be able to trace the NFT to the creator. And in the process of tracing that, you can verify, who the creator was. A lot of people have like publicly identifiable wallets. A lot of celebrities, for example, have public wallets. You also can go to the person's like website and make sure that the link to the NFT on their site is matches the link that you're looking at. If it doesn't match, then you may have some sort of scam or like impersonator project, which happens a lot. So you always want to try and track down the original creator and make sure that you're getting the link to the NFT directly from the creator of the project. In terms of the value of NFTs, there's a lot of different ways that an NFT can accumulate value. Some of it is speculative, just like stocks or, real estate, where the value is based on what people think it's valued at, right? The same applies to art, right? If you look at, there's art that's worth $5, $10, and you have art that's worth tens of millions of dollars, right? Who decides whether or not the art is worth tens of millions of dollars versus $5? It's really about the market that is demanding the art, right? So the
Mhm.
market that is demanding the NFTs determines how much it's valued at. And that market might use different benchmarks. So maybe they look at the creator of the NFT as a benchmark. Maybe they look at trading volume as a benchmark. Maybe they look at how good the art is as a benchmark. Maybe there's some sort of product or service. Like for us, we have an app. So maybe they look at the product or service that's behind the NFT to determine how valuable the NFT is. But it's really up to the buyers in the market.
Oh, wow. Wow. So you heard it first here on Crypto Kid Podcast. It's up to the buyers in the market. And So if you're not into cryptocurrencies or NFTs, you better be a part of that movement and get the ball rolling for sure. Now, there's a lot of speculation with cryptocurrency and NFTs. Like, what is the future now that we're in the bear market and everything's basically going to shit? People are just saying that I've been getting a lot of hate about my friends and family. Like, you said it was going to go up. I was like, it will. Just be patient. But like,
Yeah.
what's the future of NFTs and the collection?
Um, yeah, that's a really good question. I mean, I think that honestly, I don't really know. Right? Like, no one actually knows. But I think that my personal opinion is that there's two sides to this. Um, you have the the side of NFTs um that represents digital or physical assets that are high end or have a lot of value. So like, you know, art that's highly art, for example, or jewelry, or, you know, maybe luxury cars, right? Like, I think that we're going to continue to see NFTs used to indicate ownership of these types of assets, but um we're going to see more and more uh use cases that involve existing assets that already have value versus brand new assets. Like, a brand new art collection is not going to do nearly as well as, you know, a Picasso artwork being sold as an NFT, right? I think we're going to see more kind of just repurposing of stuff that already exists that society has already decided is valuable, because there's a lot less risk in that. Um, and then I think for everyone else who's trying to create new projects, I think it's going to be very difficult to launch a new project or new art collection that is actually successful. Then I think on the flip side, you're going to see a lot more use cases of NFTs that have nothing to do with art or luxury or high-end expensive assets. I think you're going to see NFTs used for subscriptions to apps, NFTs as subscriptions to communities and services. We're going to see NFTs used to hold data, right? So like, you know, people can hold their medical data or their, you know, professional certificates, or, you know, maybe their personal data, like their social security and, you know, different identifiers. They'll be able to hold them within NFTs and control them and manage who has access to them. I think we're going to see NFTs used a lot more for like very kind of uh very practical use cases that really have nothing to do with with making a lot of money.
So are you applying that NFTs can be a long-term investment?
Um, I think that NFTs can be a long-term investment, you know, if you're investing on the luxury side, right? Like luxury art and assets, etc. Um, but I think that it's just very risky if you're trying to invest if you're trying to invest in NFTs to build wealth. It's very risky, and you really have to spend the time to study and understand what you're doing. Um, but I think that there's going to be a lot of people buying NFTs that are not necessarily worth a lot of money, but provide value, provide utility that's valuable to them.
Great deal. So that's encouraging to hear. Now, what's next for you? Is there going to be any events that you're going to be appearing that people should keep a lookout for so they can meet you? Or are you going to be? I'm going to be at Miami Ultra. I don't know if you're into the metaverse, but I know that they're going to be doing a metaverse concert. So,
I probably won't be, because I'm leaving Miami to move back to Atlanta. But in terms of upcoming events, we do have an event called Free Startup Coaching very basic name. But we're offering free coaching to startup founders through a partner of ours for Tech Misfits. His name is Axel Tillman, and he is a amazing, like super experienced, high level executive. He's worked at a number of Fortune 500 companies. He managed a $1 billion fund at one point as a CEO. He's consulted over 120 different startups. He's been a board member for multiple companies that were acquired or went public. And so he promised to provide 8 hours of coaching to people in our community that have a business and need help. So the first 4-hour session is going to be at the end of this month on March 23rd. So if you go to the Tech Misfits website, techmisfitsapp.com, and you join the newsletter or join the wait list, you'll get the emails announcing the event. You can also find the posts on our social media as well and sign up.
Yeah, so that link will also be in the description down below. Is make sure you get involved and start your own NFT and cryptocurrency collection and keep the ball rolling. I can't emphasize this enough. We need more people to jump on board and to join this movement, this world movement. It's already changed the world in so many ways. We just need to make a massive impact for sure. And is there anything you felt like we didn't go over that you want to just touch on base real quick, or you feeling pretty good right now?
I'm feeling pretty good. I would say my question is, what is the typical kind of makeup of your audience?
My typical makeup is they're mostly men between 25 and 44, the age.
Mm-hmm.
And
Are they people that are active in crypto, Web3, or are they mostly learning?
so they are active. So most of them are in the KYCs. Are you familiar with that? One
Uh,
mining cryptocurrency on their mobile apps on their phone.
got it. Okay. Okay. The KYC stand to me, that stands to know your customers. So okay. Yeah, I would say for those of you that are listening, if you work in tech or if you work in science, engineering, art, math as a professional, definitely check out our new community, Tech Misfits, especially if you're passionate about technology and if you're passionate about spreading the word about technology and helping more and more people get into tech, not just as consumers, but also as innovators. And I think that's really important for people to understand, is that before a community of people can figure out how to innovate tech, they have to have tech literacy, right? They have to know how to navigate and use technology to solve their own problems. And then they can start to think, okay, how can I create new technology? How can I innovate? And then that innovation benefits the world. So if you're passionate about tech innovation, if you're passionate about spreading access to tech, definitely check out Tech Misfits, because I think this is the place to be. I come across people all the time who are passionate about this along with myself, and I've never been able to find one place where we can all hang out. No matter what organization we have, no matter what conference we're doing, no matter what, organization or nonprofit we have, right? We all have the similar interests, and sometimes we're like competing against each other. And I think it's really important that we have a place where we're not competing, but where we're collaborating and learning from each other. So that's what we're planning to build.
I love that you have something that everybody could bounce ideas and not it be as competitive, and you guys are willing to help each other out. That's exactly what we need. And I really appreciate you taking the time to come out on Crypto Kid podcast. And I really sincerely apologize for the last appointment that we had. And
No.
it shows your character. It shows your character, and I really appreciate you working with me and taking the time, because I know you're a busy woman and you're dealing with with blockchain technology and NFTs, and there's just so much work yet to be done, and we're barely at the tip of the iceberg, and there's just I salute you for sure, and I wish you the best with your endeavors.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
All right, take care, and hopefully I'll see you around at the event sometime. We'll keep in touch. We'll
Yes.
do a follow up and see how you're doing.
Sounds good. Sounds perfect.
Take it easy. Bye, Iris.
Bye.
Mhm.